What is going on out there, MMA, UFC fight fans? It is your boy, Mr. Hill, checking in for Higley Hill. And what I'm basically doing is just like a first look prediction on this week's card. And this card is going to be live in Mexico. We have Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval. Battle of the Brandons. Which Brandon holds the name stronger? Shout out to fvckthey on the hat. Go to fvckthey.com. Spelled the same way it is. That's a V, by the way, so you'll spell it that way. Go to their website, grab some merch. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm not going to hold y'all up too long. And being completely transparent with you guys, some of these fighters I do not know. I do not follow them. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm just going to choose off of looks, literally. So we got first fight, according to UFC.com, we got Eric Silva versus Muhammad Naimov. I want to say I've seen Naimov fight before. And I have. So that one, yeah, he fought Malarkey. I'm gonna go ahead and just go with Naimov off the jump. And when I release my unofficial prediction after doing some homework, I'll make sure I'm pronouncing these names correctly. So I do apologize in advance. Eric Silva has a nice record, almost mirrors Muhammad's. Let's try to get a glimpse at his. I'm gonna try to get a quick glimpse at his fight history real quick, if it works for me. Okay, so his debut was in 2022. He hasn't fought since December 10th of 2022. That's roughly, what, 14 months inactive? 13, 14, 15 months inactive. So yeah, that right there helps my decision. I'm proceeding with Muhammad Naimov. And for the next bout, I already know who I got. We have Victor Altamirano versus Felipe Dos Santos. I got to go with my boy Felipe. I mean, y'all know why. Y'all saw his debut. I know y'all saw his debut. I'm going to go ahead and let me click on him real quick. He fought Cape September 9th of 2023, and he lost by decision, unanimous decision. And if you go back, y'all watch that fight, that was on I believe that was a pay-per-view card, if I'm not mistaken. And Cape was supposed to fight Kata France, but something happened with Kata France, so Dos Santos stepped in, which Dos Santos was supposed to be fighting on the Contender Series, like, I want to say maybe the week of the fight, and he stepped up and he took the fight, and I mean, he went in there and put on a show and gained a lot of fans. I mean, so I off the rip, I got Felipe Dos Santos. That's where I'm putting my money on. I'm probably going to be sticking with him with unofficial predictions and my official predictions. So next up, we have Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Denise Bondar. I don't know if I need to roll or not. So we got Ronaldo Rodriguez. He's gray on UFC.com, which usually indicates he's a debuter. So this is going to be his first UFC fight. So you got to consider the jitters, you know, things of that nature, nervousness, first fight, big cameras on you. He knows millions of people are watching, people in the crowd screaming his name, and it's in Mexico. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on him, nicknamed Lazy Boy. He's fighting Denise Bondar, which is crazy. I wonder how... It says Rodriguez is... No, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. It says Rodriguez is 0-1. Maybe in the... It made no sense. No, he's definitely not 0-1. Okay, so he has a 16-2 record. I don't know. If I got to go off the top of my head, I'm probably going to go ahead and go with the debuter to get the dub. But he is fighting Bondar. who is actually coming off of a loss, coming off of 2 losses. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Lost to Gordon in 2022, lost to Hernandez in 2023, June 2023. Got knocked out in the 2022 loss to Gordon, first round decision for the Hernandez fight. So you know what, guys? I'm going to actually go with the debuter. I mean, after doing some research, I might switch it up because, Denise, he might be on his last fight, if you know what I mean. Like, most of the time, fighters do their 3 fights and they're out. If they lose 3 fights, then usually they get cut. But, it just depends on the fighter, of course, and their contract. We don't know anything about that. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with Rodriguez for my first look picks. And so I'm going to try to. I don't want to get too behind. I don't want this to be too lengthy. So next up we have Claudio Puelles and Fares Ziam from France. Ziam, okay, he beat Herbert his last fight. Oh, this is the same. Okay, this is the guy he lost to McKinney, 2022. Beat Figlek in 2022 later in that year. Then he beat Herbert by decision. So he's winning by decision, fighting that roughly twice, maybe I'd say 1.5 fights a year because he only fought 1. I mean, as far as his UFC career goes, I guess. Okay, let's look at Claudio. Come on. Gotta hurry up. Oh, it's the guy that fought Dan Hooker last, and he lost. Oh, man, no, they fought in 2022. Okay, he fought Clay Guda in 2022. Sorry about my stuttering. I just like to make sure I'm pronouncing these people's names right. Man, this guy got some experience. Jeez, this guy has fought a lot of people. Oh, yeah, okay. Fought Jordan Levitt. This guy has some experience. Got knocked out by Hooker. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Fares Ziam from France on this one. So next we have Edgar Chairez and Daniel Lacerda. What is this, like bout number 4 for them? Like, this is their 4th time fighting. I think there was one time I went with Lacerda, one time I went with Chairez. This time I don't necessarily need to look at these. I kind of want to stick with Chairez. I think he won it by like a controversial submission or something like that. He submitted Lacerda, but Lacerda didn't really tap. He just looked like he was out or limp, and they ended the fight or something like that. And they called it. They gave it to Chairez, but then they ended up calling it a no contest due to that mistake that the official made. So with that being said, I am. Dang, they're in Mexico. I'm gonna go with Edgar Chairez again. I'm gonna go with him on this one. Okay, and we got Mendonça, Mateus Mendonça versus Jesus Aguilar. Jesus lost last year in February by submission. He got a knockout in July. Then we got this guy. And Mendonça, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Wow, the odds are pretty close on this one too. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Mexico versus Brazil all over this card. I'm gonna go with Mendonça. And now, I gotta do my research. He is the favorite, but he's about to be on that third loss. And like I said, y'all know how that go. That third loss, you get fired. So I think he's gonna come in there trying to headhunt, get the win early. So last one's on the prelims. We have Christian Quinones and Raoni Barcelos. I've actually seen Barcelos fight before, and Quinones. I'm gonna go with Quinones on this one. Keep that one short and simple. All right, first one on the main card. Sorry, y'all, if I'm looking up. Majority of the time, I'm gonna work on that. We have Chris Duncan from Scotland and Manuel Torres. First look, I'm not even gonna look at their record. fight history and all that, I'm just going to, speed it up because now we're hitting the 10-minute mark. I'm going to go with Manuel Torres. I mean, honestly, most of the fighters that are from Mexico, I'm going with them because, I don't know, something about Mexican fighters fighting in their home. It's just something about their game. They just go to a different level. It was one Mexican, so it sounds so weird when I say it that way, but it was one Mexican fighter that lost. I forgot his name. I think he fights on this card too. I think we're going to be getting to him soon. But he lost his fight last time they were in Mexico, the Grasso Valentina 2. He lost his fight. He kind of lost in a pretty dominant way. Like, he was looking good the first round. Then after that, the guy survived, and he started, making him look bad. So I think he was one of the only Mexican that lost that night. So anyways, I'm gonna proceed with Manuel Torres. Then we have the women's strawweight bout, Yasmin Huaregua versus Sam Hughes from the United States. I'm gonna go with Yasmin. I mean, she's already a minus 345, so she's a favorite. She's at home advantage. I mean, the crowd's gonna go crazy for every Mexican that steps foot in that octagon, so it's gonna be pretty hard to beat a Mexican this weekend, guys. I'm just being 100%. So I got Yasmin on that one. Bantamweight bout, we got Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Turcios. I followed him. If I'm not mistaken, this is the guy from The Ultimate Fighter. And I actually thought he was pretty good. So it's going to be a pretty good one. I'm going to be honest with y'all. As good as Rosas is, I'm gonna go with Ricky. I'm gonna go with Ricky on this one. And I mean, it shouldn't be too, crazy. I think Ricky has a little Hispanic in him too. You know what I'm saying? Which, I mean, they might not yell for him at all since it's not a part of, I guess, the country he represents, like Raw. But I'm gonna go with Ricky on this one. I'm gonna go with Ricky. A little older, definitely more experienced. But of course, Rosas could win it. But first look, I'm going with Ricky. All right, next up, this is who I was talking about earlier, Daniel Zellhuber versus Francisco Prado. Daniel Zellhuber is the one I was referring to earlier that lost last time during the Mexican card with Grasso versus Valentina. Let me confirm that, too. I don't want to feel... Oh, wow. Wow, who was I thinking about? This guy clearly won. Who was I thinking about? Okay, yeah, scratch everything I said earlier. I do apologize. If anything, I'll probably cut that out of here. But, or, you know what? No, I'm going to keep it in there because I'm human, and all these fighters that we do follow, it's hard to keep up with just one fighter and remember that exact fighter. So I want to apologize to Zellhuber personally for assuming that she lost last year. So with that being said, yeah, he won by submission. He's on a 3-0 streak. Am I mistaken? Isn't he? Okay, he only lost one fight. So with that being said, I'm going with Zellhuber. I'm going with Zellhuber on that one. And now I'm trying to think if I remember it correctly. Like, didn't he have like a rough first round or something, and then end up kind of coming back? I remember him struggling at one point. That's all I remember because I know I placed a bet on him, and it looked like he was struggling. I was like, bad move, and then he ended up winning. Okay, anyways, next up we got Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega, and this is gonna be basically a rematch from 2022 when Ortega got hurt. Honestly, I don't even have to look at these. I follow both of these fighters. So off the top of my head, guys, I got to stick with Yair Rodriguez. A little bit more active than Brian Ortega. I mean, Brian Ortega hasn't fought before he got hurt against the first Yair attempt. He didn't fight, since the Volkanovski fight, So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I like Brian Ortega, but I think Yair Rodriguez takes it. I think he's actually going to get it pretty satisfyingly, meaning he's gonna get a finish more than likely within the 3 rounds. So it's gonna Yair, yeah, for sure, Yair within the rounds. And lastly, our flyweight bout, the main event, a flyweight banger, which is also a second fight. Just like our co-main, we have Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval, Battle of the Brandons. Don't really have to look at either of these guys. I kind of have a good, understanding of how both of these guys fight. Honestly, they fight very similar if you ask me. And like I said, it's going to be a banger for sure. Brandon Royval definitely has some Hispanic in him. So, I mean, hell, the crowd should go pretty crazy for him, too. Basically, what I'm getting at is sometime that home field, that home octagon advantage can really play a toll, especially for Mexican fighters. You know, they really get juiced up. They already have hands. They can box like crazy. So just knowing that they're going to be in the building and these people are going to be roaring, erupting for them, they're going to go crazy. So Brandon Royval's still going to feel some of that. I guarantee you. But, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I gotta stick with Brandon Moreno. I love Brandon Moreno. You know, sometimes I don't think he's the most. Sometimes I think he's cringe, if I got to put it that way. He's cringe sometimes. But he is pretty exciting to watch. And I don't see a finish, though. I see Brandon Moreno winning by decision. Honestly, y'all, Brandon Moreno might win by like a split decision. And by saying that, Brandon Royval could end up winning too. If it's that close, if it ends up going split decision, it could go to Brandon Royval. And then, of course, you know, sometimes you just have to be considerate of the current state of the flyweight division. You know, if you ask me, it's only been like 4 fighters that have been boosted within the last 2-3 years in the flyweight division, which was Figueiredo, which he's out of that division now. Brandon Moreno was mainly, you know, those are top 2. And then out of nowhere came Brandon Royval and Pantoja. So now those 2 are in the mix, you know. So basically what I'm getting at is this division is still building. You know, they're trying to get back to that strength level, something like middleweight or light heavyweight is, or, you know, heck, even the featherweight division or lightweight division. So I don't know. As far as marketing goes, they could probably get Brandon Moreno pushed out a little bit more. And I mean, I'm not saying this, I don't determine shit. You know, nothing's going to be fixed. Hopefully not. But anyways, what I'm getting at is I think Brandon Moreno will be the better candidate to potentially fight Pantoja. But that's my thing too, guys. It's like whoever wins, the winner more than likely is going to get another title shot against Pantoja. So it's like we're just going to keep seeing the same fighters fighting each other. Like we might see a Brandon Royval, Pantoja, 3 at this point? They're at 3, you know, or hell, we might see a Moreno versus Pantoja 3. Right? 3, I think. So that's what I'm getting at. This division is it's real icky, but I can definitely tell they're doing as much as they can to kind of work on it and keep it strong. But overall, though, yeah, if I got to go off the top of my head, first look, I'm going Brandon Moreno, which of course that is subject to change. But that is those are my picks. First look. So, you know, take all these with a grain of salt. You know, do your own research, of course, because a lot of these fighters are more skilled than what we may have seen. And also, you know, they know who they are. They know themselves. So we might be betting on another fighter just because this fighter has less experience or hasn't won as much or has a worse record or something like that. Or they're the underdog by plus 500. In their mind, they're like, I'm about to go in here and win. They're confident. So they might go in there and knock out the favorite who's a minus 400, you know. So, you know, at the end of the day, just be considerate. Hey, these people don't want to go in there and lose just because we want them to lose, you know. So, I mean, of course, that's pretty obvious. But I just had to mention that. Anyways, y'all, I'm not going to hold y'all up. I know I've yapped my ass off at this point. But please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more content. We're also going to have the Great Hill get on here from time to time. Honestly, both of us are going to be kind of going back and forth, you know, dropping content related to MMA, you know, UFC, mixed martial arts, mainly dropping our picks because, you know, we love to help people and throw out ideas. And it's fun. You know, it's fun to make money and it's fun to make risk that can make money sometimes, you know, risk reward. But anyways, y'all, I'm out. I appreciate y'all. Y'all do what you want with those picks. Stay tuned for the next unofficial predictions. And then we will be releasing the official predictions Friday before our Saturday bouts. Hope you have a great one. Swag.